I have some extremely serious news to talk to you about right now. The Trump administration is actively ramping up the number of law enforcement agents at the FBI who are going to be working on immigration enforcement activities between now and the end of September. And the reason why they're doing this is because they're not deporting as many individuals as Trump wants fast enough. I reported yesterday that Trump wants to supercharge deportations to about 3,000 deportations per day. Right now, it's less than about 1,000 per day. And well, now what the Trump administration is doing is it's shifting resources from the FBI, that is currently working on national security threats related to China and Russia and other national security threats generally, to focus them on immigration enforcement, leaving America and Americans possibly in trouble because of the lack of resources that are going to these other national security issues that could really impact the homeland. And so, right now, the FBI, according to CNN, is actively reassigning agents across the country to deal with immigration enforcement activities. They're even giving them perks. They're allowing them to transfer to the division of their choice. If they do this, they're being paid overtime in some offices, all because the Trump administration wants to deport more people. Now, before I continue, please consider subscribing to my Substack by clicking the button below or sending a one time donation to support my work via Venmo to Aaron Parnas. MAGA attacks are really on the rise right now, and I need your support, so please consider donating or subscribing today. In other news, today the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals put a pause on a lower court decision that blocked Donald Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. Yesterday, I reported that a three-judge panel at the International Court of Trade essentially blocked Donald Trump's Liberation Day tariffs, saying that they were an unconstitutional overreach of his powers under the IEEPA. Today, the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the intermediary appellate court between the International Court of Trade and the Supreme Court, issued a temporary pause, essentially an administrative stay, while it reviews the briefing, while it reviews the law. So for now, Trump's tariffs will remain in effect. This is not a surprising decision because the federal courts need time to review the case and they prefer to keep the status quo. But with that being said, a second judge today, Judge Contreras, has declared that Trump's tariffs are illegal. And the stay by the federal circuit is not impacting Judge Contreras' decision. Judge Contreras said that at least his decision impacted two companies that sued, and he said that Trump's tariffs were an executive overreach. Meanwhile, it is Taco Thursday on the internet. Taco referring to Trump always chickens out, a term that is being used and thrown around on Wall Street right now. And memes of Donald Trump in a taco shell or in a chicken costume are going viral across the internet as we speak. Today, federal and state law enforcement officials, led by Homeland Security, conducted immigration raids across Tallahassee, detaining over 100 individuals at a construction site near the FSU, the Florida State University Stadium. Officers checked IDs and work permits before deciding who they were going to release and who they were going to detain. Hyundai is considering raising prices across all of its vehicle models sold in the United States of America. Today, Donald Trump met with the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, and criticized him in person for not increasing interest rates. Powell didn't share any specific expectations for monetary policy, but instead emphasized that the Federal Reserve's decision would be based on solely on economic data and outlook moving forward. Governor Gretchen Whitmer responded to news that Donald Trump may pardon those who tried to kidnap her, saying, quote, "I'm very disappointed they're even thinking about it. When the president was shot in Pennsylvania, I was one of the first from either party to speak out against it. We must denounce political violence no matter who it's directed at." Today, Harvard secured a win as a federal judge has said that she intends to issue an injunction to prevent Trump from immediately revoking Harvard's ability to enroll international students. Trump's Department of Health and Human Services is withdrawing over $700 million in funding that would have been allocated to Moderna to develop a bird flu vaccine. In addition, RFK Jr. is in hot water because his Make America Healthy Again report is based on false sources that don't exist, and sources that are completely misrepresented. A man from Colorado who made threats against election officials has been sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. The Trump administration says it's taking steps to bring back to the United States a Guatemalan man who was unlawfully deported to Mexico. Officials also seem inclined to potentially release him upon his return. France is now planning on banning smoking in all outdoor areas where children might be present, such as beaches, parks, and bus stops. And massive wildfires are raging out of control across Western and Central Canada, forcing thousands to evacuate as the country faces a severe fire season. That's all the news right now. If you want to support my work, click the button below, subscribe to my Substack, or consider sending a one-time donation to my Venmo, Aaron-Parnas, and I'll see you in the morning.